Hello, Red Wave. Welcome to Beware Bulldogs podcast. My name is Caleb Nale. Joining me, the co-hostess with the mostest. It's not a hostess, it's a host. Caleb Pletz. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. Beautiful day today. It got hot a little bit, so I think we are
Dude, it was.
got a little flavor of summer, but that's good. That means sooner the summer gets here, the sooner that fall gets here, and that means football season is almost.
That means football.
Yep. Granted, it's still 4.5 months away, but this week we got a lot to look forward to with the spring game, so we'll touch on that later.
Yes, we are covering the spring football preview. Okay, got to get that right. It's not a game. It's not a game. It's preview. We're going to be talking basketball transfers, and we're going to be talking baseball. I am pulling up the live stream because we are live right now, so you can follow us on Twitter at Beware CSUF. We are live on Twitter and on YouTube. So subscribe over on YouTube at Beware of Bulldogs. You'll see the logo. And then you just hit the subscribe. I mean, if you're on YouTube, you know how it works. So subscribe, hit the bell, all the jazz over there. Caleb, I said you were a hostess, not a hostess.
Thank you.
You're the hostess with the
Right.
mostest.
What's your favorite hostess product?
I don't eat them.
Oh, okay. I used to love ding dongs back in the day. That was my.
You would like ding dongs. You would. I don't know. The only one I know is Twinkie.
Yeah,
and
Twinkie ho ding dong. That's what you got right there.
All right. Well, the person that named those, man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to try some soon because I honestly don't remember what they taste like.
Yeah.
And we could try them. You can bring one at our tailgate at the spring preview. How do you like that segue?
That's right. That was perfect.
We're going to be tailgating at the spring preview starting at 9 a.m. in the red lot. So Caleb and I will be there, and we are partnering with the fantasy football dudes. So Trent Jackson and his clan over there. So come out, we're eating and drinking, having a good time. And then the spring preview is free, just so you know. So you can get in free. And then afterwards is the baseball game. You could purchase a $20 pass. You get a parking spot and two tickets to the baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be at both of those, all of it.
That's right.
Having a good time. All right. So if you have comments, questions, leave them in the comment section. We're happy to get to that right now. We're going to start with baseball, Caleb. The baseball team traveled to Air Force. Air Force was what I would say they're a lower tier team in the Mountain West. And after coming off of the Santa Barbara series, I thought, no problem. We should handle these guys.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. We lost all 3 games, and it looked really bad. Now, from what I heard, the turf is awful. The infield, there's infield turf there because it snows all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't fun. Our guys looked slower. The ball bounced differently. That had an effect. Also, it was cold. Now, we could say all that at the same time, still lost the game. You got to play the game. You lost the game. So we go 0 for 3 in Colorado. Caleb, we'll get to the scores, but initial thoughts?
Yeah, disappointing because it did feel like this team had some momentum building. And like you said, Air Force appeared to be, a weaker team. I mean, coming into the series, they were, I think, 12-17. Maybe 12-19. Let me pull up my standings here. But yeah, I mean, they were 12-19 going into this, and then they, ripped 3 in a row from the Dogs, and now they're right in the middle of the pack conference standing too. So, it's frustrating, and I mean, our top 2 pitchers, they got roughed up pretty badly. So, I guess at some point during the season, that's going to happen. I mean, at this level, no one's going to be perfect, every time they're out there. So at least, with Henderson and Dixon, I mean, at least those games weren't even close. I mean, just get it out of the system. But yeah, different playing environment there too. Playing at elevation. I mean, Air Force was just ripping some home runs, and they were smoking them, and yeah, playing in the cold. I mean, obviously, our guys haven't really been playing in the cold. I mean, they've been dealing with rain this whole season, but yeah, I mean, in snowy conditions. I mean, there was still snow all around the stadium there. Just
Yeah.
seeing some photos that like Paul Leffler had posted, and even some of the B-roll on the Mount West Network. So that's definitely strange here, second week of April, to be dealing with that. So, thankfully the series is over and gonna be in California for a little bit now.
Come back
Especially,
home.
yeah. So it's gonna need to be a quick turnaround because conference leader San Diego State's coming to town this weekend, and the Dogs need to get some wins.
Yeah, after this, the Dogs moved into 4th place in the Mountain West, and the top 4 teams make the Mountain West Conference tournament.
Yep.
Yeah. To start the first game, we lost 10-5. Eshawn started the game. He also got the loss, but he gave up 4 in the 4th, excuse me, and then 2 in the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it wasn't the best for Eshawn, but get it out of the way. I mean, batting wise, we scored 5 runs. Grady Morgan, Marco Puricello,
There you go.
and Hopfy all homered.
Yep.
But still not enough. They were all solo homers, I believe. I'm looking.
Double check that.
Yep.
Puricello's was a 2-run
No.
bomb.
Yes.
Blanford scored on that one too. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's the negative part of hitting a home run, is that it does kind of kill your rally because you don't have guys on base anymore. I guess that's the old school baseball talking right there. But yeah, I mean, it is good. I mean, normally too, on a night scoring 5 runs, usually that's good enough to get Eshawn a victory. But
I just say, especially with Eshawn on the mound.
yeah, but the Air Force Falcons were just they were roughing up our pitching staff, and so I guess if we're taking a positive away, I mean, Robbie Peters went an inning, and well, I guess he gave up two unearned, so never mind. I guess there wasn't much good to take away on the pitching side.
I mean, our fielding was not good this game, so yeah, we want to get strikeouts, but I think the pitchers put our guys in positions to make plays, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, Dogs committing 3 errors and Air Force committing none. It's going to be tough to overcome that when, if the pitcher's trusting his defense to try to make a play and he's not able to. That's going to be difficult. And I guess we should note too that Air Force didn't walk a single batter in that first game. So that's
no. Yeah, I was just going to say that we had no walks. I mean, we didn't get walked once, and there was only 1 strikeout. We only struck out once. So, I mean, we're hitting the ball, but we're not getting on base.
Yeah.
So, that was game 1. Game 2 was worse. 13-4. Dixon got the loss there. I mean, the Falcons came out and scored 7 in the second. 7 runs in the second. And we scored 2 in the 3rd and 2 in the 9th, and that was it. Highlight of this game, Murph Gray with 2 ribbies. He went 1 for 4 with 2 ribbies. I mean, Blanford, Morgan, and Sammy Augustine got in. They all had a double. Actually, Bobby Blanford had 2 doubles. But I mean, Dixon had a rough go of it.
Yeah, Dixon got roughed up, and I mean, I think a positive here. Trevor Garcia did come in and provide 4 1/3 out of the bullpen. Only gave up a run, So I mean, that's a really solid outing from a guy coming in early in the game. I mean, coming in the third inning, that's a lot to ask. And he, fought admirably, but yeah, late in the game, Bryce Armstrong, who's a name we haven't really heard much from this year. I mean, he got roughed up too, gave up 4 runs in that last inning. So overall, another really good performance from Air Force. I mean, they only walked 2 batters and, just really let the defense do all the work. The Dogs only struck out 3 times. But just, they were just in the right place, right time, and Dogs just couldn't really get the rallies going, until the 9th inning when the Dogs scored, a couple runs to try to make the score a little bit more respectable.
Right. I mean, we had 9 we gave up 17 hits. We had 9. Once again, we only struck out 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
We only walked twice, but we're just not putting the ball in places to get on base.
And again, defense kind of letting it down too with 3 errors again in the second game. So same old story for those 2 games. And thankfully the third game was a little bit closer. I mean, it looked like the Dogs actually had a chance there, but ended up giving it up at the end.
Yeah, we gave up 2 in the first. Jack Anchor got the start and the loss. No, sorry, Angelo's the starter.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Angelo got the start. He actually went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, 3 earned, 5 strikeouts, walked 4. Then Jack Anchor came in, pitched 2, and gave up 1 run, and he ends up getting the loss. Air Force scored 2 in the first. Then we scored 1 in the third. And then we gave up another one in the bottom of the third, and then we came back in the 5th and tied it up 3-3, and then they scored the go-ahead run in the 6th, and that was it.
Yeah, this was a frustrating game. It is a quick game too. I was able to watch starting in the 5th inning, so I turned it on and I saw Tyler Davis crush a homer and Bobby Blandford crush one in the 5th inning to tie it up. So at that point, I was thinking, okay, good. Offense is rolling a little bit. Pitching staff's doing enough to keep it close, and then immediately after, Air Force answers with a run in the 6th, and then Dogs just couldn't manufacture anything on offense. So I mean, overall, a decent pitching performance from the staff, and Hoppy did come in at the end of the game because there wasn't a safe situation for him in the first 2 games. So good opportunity to just throw him out there, just to get him an inning to keep that arm live. So yeah, frustrating day for the Dogs. I mean, yeah, like you said, kind of one of the, I guess, highs of the weekend was Murph Gray. I mean, he's really the bright spot in the offense right now, and brought home his 3rd consecutive Mountain West Freshman of the Week. So that's pretty impressive for him. And I mean, he's solidified himself there in the middle of the lineup. I mean, he's hitting 3rd or 4th. I think he's hitting 3rd right now. So need him there in the lineup, and hopefully the rest of the guys can get things moving, because gotta have guys on base, so that way your guys like Gray can knock them in.
Yeah, there's a big step that needs to be taken by the team. But I think they can do it. I know they can do it. We've seen it. But coming off these 3 losses is going to be tough. But we're coming home. Our next series against San Diego State, that's this weekend. But our next game is Tuesday, which you're listening to it on Tuesday. So today, and we're playing Long Beach State at 6:00 at home, which should be a good game. And then, like you said, Mountain West leaders in San Diego State. We got a 3-game series there. That should be fun. I mean, I expect big things from them. San Diego State, they're in first, but they're not, head and shoulders above everybody else in the Mountain West.
Yeah, I mean, their overall record is 11-16, so they're under 500. And they've only played 10 conference games, so they're coming in 7-3 overall in conference play, and most of the other teams have played either 12 or 15 games, so they're a little bit behind. So I'm assuming they had some rained out or cancellations, because at this point in the year you gotta have a couple more games under the belt, at least in conference. But yeah, I mean, big opportunity for Fresno State to gain some ground, and to hopefully be in a spot where they're going to be in the top 4 at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a fun season. It has been a fun season. I'm really excited. I've been enjoying baseball season, man.
Me
It's
too.
been
Yeah.
great. I've been keeping up with basketball this year. Now baseball. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Speaking of basketball, sorry, go ahead.
and we will be there on Saturday, just as a reminder. So it's a 3 o'clock first pitch. I'm assuming Jake Dixon's going to be on the mound. He's been the number 2 guy for most of the year. So hopefully we get a good outing from him. I mean, we're expecting a solid performance from Ishan on Friday. I mean, he's been lights out for pretty much every game except for Air Force. So yeah, should be a good opportunity, and hopefully we can take down a good, historically really good Aztec baseball team.
All right, we're moving on to basketball. We got 2 transfers that have come in and signed. They signed on Easter.
Mm-hmm.
So I try not to check my phone, but I had a bunch of stuff blowing up my phone. And what do you know? We got 2 new transfers. Enoch Boakye. That's good. That's the closest I'm going to get for now. Center transfer from Arizona State. Coming out of high school, I believe he was a 5-star.
Yeah, and he was the number 1 player coming out of Canada. So.
Yeah, and the number 4 overall center. He's 6'10". He didn't play a whole lot at Arizona State. He's 6'10", 240. He started 3 games as a true freshman. He only played 12 minutes a game. He had 2 points, 3.5 rebounds, and a block a game. And that was as a freshman. And then he got less playing time as a sophomore. So he's got 2 years of eligibility. We'll see what happens. I think it'll be good with paired next to Andre because he needs some rest. And then we have Chucks Isatua, who was injured last year. He's also 6'10". So we got 2 6'10" guys and a 7-footer. We now have depth, I would say, and they're big boys. Thick
yeah, I
boys.
think depth at center or big man position, I think it's going to be really important for this team because we saw flashes of Andre, being a dominant player, but it was also really easy to get him into foul trouble. It seemed like, I mean, if you just kind of go at him, and draw a foul and get a couple quick fouls on him, and he's out of the game, and then we're back playing small ball, chucking up threes. So I think if we're able to build up that depth behind Andre, I think that's going to be huge, and especially if Andre can develop a right hand hook shot, I think that's going to be huge too. So hopefully these other guys behind him can help him with that, because he is a bit one-dimensional when he gets the ball down low.
Yep. Yeah. Then when they double teamed him, it was over a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And when he gets into foul trouble, and it's easy for him to get in foul trouble because we play so high and aggressive, our guards do. So our last line of defense, you need a big center, but he's going to foul.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. So now with more guys to do that, I am happy that he's coming in. The second guy is a guard out of Wyoming, Xavier Dussel. And Dussel, I was looking for his. Here you go. He's 6'4", 200 pounds, and he averaged 10 points as a freshman, 7.5 points in that same season, and that's the season where they made the tournament. And then this past year, he averaged 8 points a game. And, that was on a really bad Wyoming team. Granted, they didn't have Graham Ike. His career clip from the floor is 41%, and he's shooting around 40% from the three-point line. I'll take it. We lost Anthony Holland. He was our best percentage-wise, he was our best three-point shooter. We need another guard to do that.
Yeah.
I talked to our friend David Graff, who did the Get to Knows. You guys may remember him for the Wyoming football season. He covered them, the athletic program there, and he really liked Isaiah Dussel. He said we got a good one, and he likes his character even more, and he believes that he's going to bring some leadership to the locker room. So I don't know anything about him, but that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. So hearing all these things with the players and new guys coming in, I think there's rumored to be one more out of Utah Tech, I believe it's not Utah Valley, it's Utah Tech out of the WAC. And I looked it up, and they finished last in the WAC, but I believe this is their best player. And he came on a visit to Fresno State. So there are more players that are interested in coming to Fresno State. I mean, we need more. We've lost a lot. So we got to get more players. And with all of this happening, we talked about Coach Hutt is here to stay. This kind of solidifies it.
Right.
In my opinion. So, I mean, now they haven't released anything. People still say it's up in the air. No one knows what's going on, but I believe with these two transfers coming in, these are Hutt's guys. He's going to stay.
Yeah, definitely. All signs are pointing toward, one more year of Hutt and, prove it contract year. I mean, like an NFL contract year, okay, go show me what you can do. And then, then we'll talk extension after that. So I do think like a really funny, like ironic thing that could happen is if, Hutt pulls off, a decent season here and maybe, the Dogs make it to the NIT or something. And then maybe
they win 22 games.
Right. They win 22 games and then he just ends up leaving for a better job, which would be pretty funny. But I do think these are two pieces that can help. So hopefully they're able to stay healthy. I mean, that was one of the problems with Baker, who did enter the transfer portal. I don't think we've mentioned that since our last episode. So, I mean, that was one of his issues is, is he fully healthy and able to, be the player that everyone, thought he could be. So, with him entering transfer portal, there's plenty of field goal attempts available. So that's, would be attractive to guys coming in. So, I like that Ducel's a 40% shooter from the floor. I mean, that's what this team needs is, more efficiency. So, plenty of shots available for Isaiah Hill and JoJo, and hopefully a better percentage.
A real Fresno State fan says Coach Hutt needs to get his stuff straightened out. He needs some big time recruits and to be able to compete. Yep. All about it. Yep. And this helps. These two guys help. And I think with one more coming in, I think the guy will come from Utah Tech, and I'm not making that up. That is a school. I think it's going to be a big help. All right, man. So with the spring preview coming up, we're going to talk football now. And we're going to preview the spring preview. And this is a little taste. If you are new to the podcast, a little taste of how football season goes. We're going to give you 2 segments right now that we do during football season. And you guys can jump in and add whatever you think as well in the comments section. So first, since this is the CNC Football Factory now, Caleb.
That's right.
We have gonna make you sweat. What's gonna make you sweat? Sitting there watching the spring preview. It's gonna be beautiful weather.
It is, yeah.
What time does the actual preview start? 1? No.
Yeah, it's started at 1 o'clock. I think now the forecast for Saturday is let's just do our normal rundown. I mean, the weather forecast for Saturday, I think it's a high of 78. We got sunshine in the sky, which is perfect.
It's gonna be warm.
Will not be televised. I don't think it'll be on the radio. So if you want to catch eyes on it, you got to be at Bulldog Stadium. It is free.
It's free.
Or listen to our recap after.
Yep.
But I forgot your question that you asked me.
Gonna make you sweat.
Oh, gonna make you sweat, of course.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I'm worried about is if all the quarterbacks that participate, like, just throw interceptions and like none of the quarterbacks look good. I think that's probably like most sweat worthy is none of the quarterbacks separate themselves, and they're just turning the ball over and the offense isn't clicking. So that's probably my biggest fear right now, and gonna make me sweat.
I agree with you.
Okay.
And I know we agree a lot on this show, but I agree with you. Because last year, going into the spring preview, we knew what we had with Jake Haener.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew we were going to have a very aggressive offense and that they could perform at a high level. This year, I don't know what we have. No, we got to watch Logan Fife play a little bit. Uh, I don't, is he even going to take reps?
I think it
Spring
really
preview?
just depended on how this week of practice goes, because the team was off last week for spring break, so
Mhm.
hopefully the guys were still dedicated to recovery and weight room, and didn't take too much time off doing spring break stuff. So yeah, I mean at this point we don't really know. I mean we know that there's four fully healthy guys. I did see Joshua Wood post on Instagram today. So
Yeah.
it looked like he's back, and so I'd expect him to take some reps too. So yeah, Fife is really the only one that's questionable. But at the same time, I mean, I don't think there's contact for quarterbacks here in the spring preview. So I mean, as long as he's able to throw, I would expect him to get out there and take some reps.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to sweat if it goes poorly offensively.
Hmm.
I believe in our defense. I think our defense they're going to be stud. The other thing that could make me sweat is that if our offense picks apart our defense.
True. That's true. That is the kind of funny part of the spring game is like, who are you actually cheering for? Because like obviously you want your offense to be good, but if your defense is just getting rolled over, then it's bad too. So side note, did you see last weekend that Auburn, like how Auburn structured their spring game with
No.
the defense started with a 24-0 lead, and then like the offense had different like scenarios or whatever, and so they ended up tying 24-24. But I just thought it was kind of a weird structure to like actually give the defense points.
And then to end up in a tie.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
So
this is
then,
America's sport. We do not end up in a tie. This is the one sport well, maybe baseball, but you can't end in a tie in football.
yeah.
But do you mind answering your own question? Would you be more worried if, well, I don't remember how you phrased it, but
Yeah.
with the defense getting rolled, or how are you looking at it if the defense gets rolled or if the offense really struggles? Because I mean, we know we don't have our starting quarterback back, so
Right.
there's that there, but
Yeah.
we have a very experienced defense.
I think at this point, my expectation is that the defense is going to be the stronger group going into this game. So I would almost feel better if the defense plays well, and the new linebackers coming in, and new safety Dean Clark, that
Mhm.
they're just locking down everything. They're shutting down the run. Um, so as long as the quarterback's not making like really bad throws, and the defense is still just locking it down, I think that's kind of my best case scenario here. So like I wouldn't mind the defense really winning, I guess. I mean, I'm sure the offense is going to score a couple times, especially if second or third teamer guys are getting in there. But so I think, long-winded answer to your question, I want to see the defense do well because I'm expecting them to be the top group.
Right. Yeah, I agree. The defense needs to dominate this spring preview.
Hmm.
If the defense doesn't dominate the spring preview, then that I will sweat the mostest.
And we got four months of sweating to do.
Yeah. All right. Now, what about your everybody dance now? What is going to make you dance? Something that happens at the spring preview, other than the great music that you will be playing for us at the tailgate. I know you're going to
That's
be
right.
dancing for
That's
us,
right. Yes, we'll,
right?
we'll be we'll,
Okay.
we'll be playing some music out there and dance a little bit. I think what's gonna make me dance is if there's someone in the wide receiver room that really separates himself and steps up to be wide receiver one here, because that's one of the big question marks on this team is who's going to be the number one guy out there running routes, and being able to get a possession grab when it's 3rd and 8 and we need to get a first down. So I think if a wide receiver is able to really step up in this preview and maybe make a spectacular catch, or just show that they deserve to be wide receiver one on this team, I think that's going to make me dance, because that's a big question mark, and that'll kind of help with the offensive identity going into the next season.
Mm-hmm. So to give you an idea of what I think of when I pick my everybody dance now, I think it's something that doesn't happen often, that is plausible, and if it does, but doesn't happen often, it's rare. And when it does, I'm going to stand up, scream, and yell, and jump up and down. And that thing for the spring game is going to be how clean is the pocket?
Okay.
I'm going to be looking at the offensive line because every year we have the same story with the offensive line. We have injuries, movement. We don't know who's going to play where week to week. I mean, last year they set a starting lineup for week 1, and then a different starting lineup came out against, was it Cal Poly?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it moved every game from then on out, it seemed like.
Yeah, and I mean, right now we don't even know who the center is going to be. Like, who's actually going to be snapping the ball? I mean, that's a big
Right.
question because I mean, at least last season we had Bula Schmidt in the middle. We know, okay, this guy's pretty solid, and he's going to play center every game. And we lost Bula to the portal, and so basically every position is open right now. So hopefully, at minimum, we can lock down a center. So that way, there's some consistency with snaps, and quarterbacks can get a little comfortable with that.
Right. And I don't want to see our quarterback under any stress. So clean pocket, making his throws. I know he's not going to be hit, but we could tell. We all see it. So if we have a clean pocket for the entire preview or for most of the preview, I'll be dancing. I'll hop on this recap and be very happy with what I've seen.
Love it.
I didn't write anything else down for segments that we usually do, but what we'll do is hopefully we're going to have a recap for you guys afterwards. But tell us your 2 things. What's going to make you sweat and what's going to make you dance? Either tweet at us at Beware CSUF. I'll put something up. But anything else, Kale, about this preview that you are looking for outside of those 2?
Kind of curious about special teams too. I don't really know where that's going to fit in, but I think right now, honestly, I don't even know who the kicker is because did Abe graduate or is he just injured? Because I know that he hasn't been participating.
Yeah, I think he's injured.
Okay,
I think I don't know.
Because I know that all I've seen is right now Dylan Lynch is handling all the kicking, and so. Obviously, he had a couple good games there at the end of the season, and especially with the onside kick against San Diego State. I mean, that I will forever be dancing in my head after that play. That's for sure. So, I mean, and special teams were kind of up and down for Fresno State last year. Returning wise, it was pretty strong with Remigio, but kicking, team struggled a little bit. Punt wise, it wasn't really a weapon to be able to turn the field. So. Definitely still some room to grow there. So hopefully we can see some positive developments there with the kicking game and even the return game, because that's a big question mark too, is who's going to handle the punt and kick return duties, because that was a weapon for this team last year. So a lot of opportunity for some newcomers and fearless guys that aren't afraid to get smacked.
Yeah, the one thing that I look for, or one of the things I look for at a spring preview, is who are the leaders on this team and how is the reaction to, or the body language to, certain things that happen on the field. So I watch a lot of the sideline too during the spring preview and what's going on after the snap or right before the snap, because I'm interested to see how the new guys are fitting in, who on the sideline that's not playing is really invested and cheering the guys on, and who's sitting back upset that they're not getting reps. Those are some things I'm looking for when I attend practices, things like that. So it should be a lot of fun. We're going to learn a lot. And I mean, everyone looks forward to football season. Football is king here. So, I mean, I expect to see you guys there. And if you see us, don't be afraid to say hi. We don't bite, and we're happy to talk with you guys, and we like to meet you guys. So anything else, Caleb?
I think that's it. So looking forward to Saturday. We'll be there at 9 and hanging out all the way through the end of the baseball game. So
in the
looking
red
forward
lot.
to it. Yeah, we'll be in the red lot, and probably day of, I'm sure we'll try to post a picture of the tailgate so you guys know what you're looking for, so you can come find us. But yeah, looking forward to it. Football's almost here.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We will see you Saturday, and we'll have a recap up, talking all things spring preview. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.